Leader of Scottish Labour was announced as Anas Sarwar, and the Deputy Leader Angela Rayner tweeted this in response. "I'm so proud that our party has elected the first ever ethnic minority leader of a political party anywhere in the UK. I also want to pay tribute to Monica Lennon, who also stood for the leadership, for running a positive, passionate campaign, and I know she will continue to be a forceful advocate for change." Now, that tweet actually hastened a backlash on social media, and we had this response from Benjamin Cohen, the chief executive of Pink News. Here's his tweet. "I guess Jews don't count, Angela. You were first elected in a general election fought by a Jewish Labour leader, being Ed Miliband." Now, Benjamin joins us now. Welcome to the programme, Benjamin Cohen. Why did you respond to Angela Rayner on Twitter in that way?
I was just a bit surprised. I know Angela a bit. I've met her lots of times through Pink News. I was just surprised that she would say that Anas is the first ethnic minority leader. He is the first Muslim leader, and there's lots of firsts with his election, and that's really good. But he's not the first ethnic minority leader. The Labour Party's had an ethnic minority leader, as I said, Ed Miliband, as you said, Ed Miliband. And Ed was the fourth ethnic minority leader of a British political party who happened to be Jewish. So it's just the notion that Jews don't count in a sense, because in a sense we were forgotten by Angela in that tweet, because Jews are an ethnic minority and Jews have been leaders of political parties. Right.
Well, Stuart, let me get your reaction. I mean, is the first person from an ethnic minority to lead a British political party Anas Sarwar or Benjamin Disraeli?
or Ed Miliband. I thought Benjamin Disraeli converted. I could be
wrong.
Well,
he did. But yes, all right, Ed Miliband then.
Can I just clarify, Stuart? And I know Stuart well, and I like Stuart, but
yeah,
you can become a different faith, but you cannot convert your ethnic group. Ed Miliband is atheist. So on the same basis that you would say that Benjamin Disraeli wasn't Jewish because he was converted to the Anglican Church at the age of 12, Ed was also not Jewish, but Ed was Jewish and faced anti-Semitism.
OK, Stuart?
Yeah, sure. No, look, I think the key thing here, look, precision is really important. If you're speaking from a Labour standpoint particularly, you have to realise that trust with the Jewish community has been broken over the past few years, and you have to speak with precision and sensitivity. But I had the privilege of working for Ed Miliband, and I just want to say, by the way, congratulations to Anas Sarwar. It's an excellent choice and a great moment. But I do think, however, in Angela's defence, this is an area where there is some uncertainty about terminology. Jews are a minority, and Labour, as I said, has had an awful last few years in terms of its tolerance of a small minority within its ranks who've expressed anti-Semitic views. But I have Jewish friends who disagree themselves about whether they would describe themselves as an ethnic minority or not. So I absolutely think there should be sensitivity and precision about this. But I do think this is an area where people do feel genuine uncertainty about terminology.
Miata, are Jews an ethnic minority in your mind?
I think they are. I think probably the phrase that she was looking for was probably black and Asian minority leader. That probably would have got her out of the hot water that she's in. They are. But I think there is a lot of lack of awareness, and it feels very grey for those that aren't in minority ethnic group. And sometimes they get it wrong. I don't think it was deliberate. I don't think it was vindictive or anything. I think she just slightly misspoke.
Right. I mean, it is an interesting discussion, isn't it, Lee? Because do you think that Anas Sarwar, who was born in Glasgow, whose heritage is Pakistani, would face different challenges from someone like Ed Miliband, for example, with a Jewish background?
Well, I hope not. I hope we've got to a place where, from a political perspective, that anybody can be a leader of any political party and can put forward their manifesto and get elected on that. I mean, on this, I tend to agree with Stuart's point that precision is important, but I don't think Angela meant this. I don't think it was intentional. And the thing that I draw from it is not any underlying intent. It's just that, people who play on Twitter and do all of these things, and Angela Rayner is somebody who is not afraid of being caustic and aggressive on Twitter. We should just all be a little bit careful on these things. So benefit of the doubt for Angela, but I hope she gives other people the benefit of the doubt in the future as well.
Right. I mean, Benjamin, isn't there a wider point that actually perhaps the fact that Angela Rayner didn't immediately recognise previous Jewish political leaders in her tweet underlines the fact that many Jews have succeeded in reaching high political office and therefore don't need to be seen as a group needing recognition in the same way as others? Have we lost Benjamin? I might have put that question into the ether. Oh no, there you are, Benjamin. Did you hear that?
I did hear your question. We face anti-Semitism and racism very clearly. We've just seen that with the many years of racism and anti-Semitism within the Labour Party. So to suggest that Jews don't face racism and therefore we've reached such a high office that we're not an ethnic minority is frankly ridiculous. Frankly, the notion of this debate is ridiculous. Angela, I'm sure, didn't mean to say what she did say, but she's very quick to criticise other people on Twitter, as was just said, and she could have just responded to the tweet myself and many other Jewish people made. But it's not the case that Jews have reached such high position in society they don't face discrimination. You know, we're still in the Holocaust is still in living memory.
Yeah,
whether you practiced or you were not practicing, you still faced murder by the Nazis. And so it's just to understand that it's not just about the religion. And I understand why people are confused, because there is a religion called Judaism that majority Jews do subscribe to, but you are Jewish whether or not you practice the Jewish religion. You are just Jewish by the fact of your birth and your ethnicity, and that's the difference.
Okay.
And that's why we're reflected onto the legislation as an ethnic group, not as a religious group.
Right, well, we'll come on to the administration of it. Stuart, your response?
No, I mean, I agree with what Benjamin said. I mean, I think it's very important, particularly on social media, that when you say something and the group affected says, well, then you got this right, I think it's important to clarify and to acknowledge that. So I think that's absolutely right. I think that's true for a range of issues, in particular this issue, in particular with the Labour Party at the centre of it.
Right, but when it comes to monitoring officially, Kate, do you think Jewish should be officially recognised as a distinct ethnic group in the UK on those forms that we all have to fill in then? Because clearly it's important to monitor the progress of different minority groups in the UK.
Well, of course you can convert to Judaism, but we are talking about a minority ethnic group, and one that has been persecuted for so long, and it isn't simply the historical context. Of course we can go back to the Holocaust, very important, but in the past 5 years here in the UK we've had a major anti-Semitism problem with the Labour Party, and I agree with all the previous speakers who said that Angela Rayner, I'm sure, was acting in good faith and didn't mean it, but you would expect to see an extra level of thoughtfulness and sympathy at the moment from the Labour Party, especially from politicians who backed Jeremy Corbyn and who backed the Labour Party that brought in this wave of anti-Semitism. And as Lee pointed out, you know, Angela Rayner is very quick to take comments out of context on Twitter. She accused Chancellor Rishi Sunak of not thinking that dads had a role in childcare because he answered a question about mothers taking care of children. It turned out the question put to the Chancellor was actually about mothers. So we need good faith on all sides, but we need sensitivity and thoughtfulness, and the Deputy Labour leader should have had that in her tweet. All
right, just very quickly, Lee, sorry to put you under pressure. Should Jewish be officially recognised as a separate ethnic group in the UK? We have Gypsy or Irish Traveller on the list.
I would have to, there's not an area that I know a huge amount about, and it's obviously very sensitive, and I would obviously defer to experts in that area. Sometimes politicians have to highlight when they don't know the answer, but we need to make sure we have the right data, we need to make sure we have the right information, and we need to be able to support the communities in the way that they need.
All right, that's all we've got time for. Benjamin, thank you very much for joining us today, and of course I'll be back tomorrow at 12:15. Bye-bye.